Welcome to the live session traders. Thursday 2026 22nd of January 2026, another big trading day after picking up everything we have seen tomorrow as well as today and yesterday. Looking at welcome. All right, so beginning another trading day and waiting for all the fellow members to join the stream as we are beginning a significant trading day after the pullback here. All right, so this is where we are at pullback and the market has rejected back to the upside. Good evening, welcome. You are watching, make sure you like the stream and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Press the notification bell so that you are not missing any of the content that I am posting every day. Let's begin today's trading session starting with XAUUSD. I have few instrument on watch list. We will be looking at few instrument potentially can give us trading opportunity. If you look at the USD, probably we see some upside here as this market also trending at the moment. If we find a suitable entry, we'll be looking at that. Dollar yen as well, if you look at XAUUSD, also showing up that potential entry in this market. So first of all, gold, if you look at this market on XAUUSD, is after yesterday's event there has been significant pullback. The market is on a pullback at the moment, and with that pullback we are looking at entry in a suitable entry opportunity. So in this live session we will be looking at entry as soon as we find suitable price action confirmation. Now before I go to that, first of all let's look at the overall the market direction. That means you will be looking at the bigger picture. You will be looking at also the DXY to see where the market is heading for the USD pair. There's some move on WTI as well. We saw there was a significant bullish impulse on WTI, which is so far this week the market is bullish. Now let's look at here first of all on gold, or you want to look at first dollar yen. This is also currently in a trend. Now looking at the weekly time frame on, this is daily, intraday, and the lower time frame on gold, first of all, to see that where the market is potentially be heading. So daily chart, if we look at from the multiple time frame analysis, daily time frame will give us a very clear direction of any entry that we can see in this market. So this is the daily price action, where from this support level there is a initial breakout here that you can see on the daily from this level, and with that daily move back to the upside here. If you look at from here, it is an initial bounce in that market, right? So daily price action giving an important price action pattern here for possible bullish trend continuation here. Now today's market was different. If you guys looked at, there is a pullback here in that market. So with that pullback, that you can see the market drop to that support, and from that support there is a breakout that you can see here in that market, right? So with this breakout, what we can see, the market at the moment on the daily high. Are you going to buy at the moment? What I think that there potentially be another retest of the low, and it is a bull market, there is no doubt, but we can see there is a potential for another retest of this support, and then could see the market to eventually break back to the upside here in that market. Now intraday time frame here, what I think that from the current price action pattern and the market structure, there is a potential for this price to retest that level again, and that's where we could see an entry. But before coming here, are you going to see another move back to the upside? There is a high probability, and this is the daily high that we can see in that area. What time impact news today? Okay, we will be looking at the, if you look at the calendar, we are having in around 2 hours final GDP on dollar and unemployment claims also on USD, and later also coming up core PCE price index 3 high impact news. So 2 of them coming in nearly to 2 hours, and then there is another one coming later. All right, so pretty packed with quite a few high impact news. Now we are not trading the news, but we will be trading the outcome of the news, isn't it? This is where the key, right? Is it being heard? Okay, now this is the current support level, no problem at all. So here is the support. If you look at daily support and daily resistance, are you going to look at the high here? And I think if you look at the current daily high is very important, and if you look at here, this is a significant breakup structure. Now from here it's slowly pushing back to the upside. What we could see that next move today like that, off this level, above this level, from that zone another breakout. Now that breakout could bring that market below or above, and then to trend eventually back to the upside. So this news coming can make that market to move like that. Are you with me, guys? So this is what we are looking at in this market. All right, so this is the daily high, and there is a liquidity zone here in that area, which eventually could retest that high and then can potentially break below. So because as a trend trader, are you a trend trader or reversal trader. So do you trade with the trend or you trade with the reversal? What kind of trader are you? Day trader, swing trader, scalper? What kind of trader you are? You can share some of your trading system ideas. What kind of trader you are? Scalper? Anyone else in a different domain? Day trader, swing trader? I'm day trader and I trade with the trend. Okay, day trader. Yeah, so trend trading is the most important part. That means you can enter on a reversal, but trading with the trend is the most important part. Good day, coach and everyone. Day trader and swing trader. Okay. All right. So good to hear that you guys are really passionate about trading, and some of you day traders, some of you scalper. Yes, trading with the trend. Yeah, absolutely. That's what we need to look at, guys, that trading with the trend is the most important part. Now, have you liked this stream? We are looking at now entry in the direction of the trend. So if you like trading with the trend, make sure you also like this stream. Okay, give a thumbs up. And now also it's important that you use a risk manager tool to trade with the trend. And both day trader and scalper are following SMT and breakup structure. That's very cool. Okay, so breakup structure, these are the component of profitable trading, right? Trading with the trend, wait for the breakup structure, and then entry based on that. Now here we can see, if you look at, there is an entry here, okay, but it's gonna be quite a low move that we can see. If you look at the current daily, the market has just crossed the daily high. There is a potential entry here. Now, off that level, we might see the market to bounce off that level. But looking at other time frame, if you look at the 1 hour, in the 1 minute, this is the 5 minutes price action, pretty nice looking, a bullish trend here. Now that move eventually could go back here, okay, and then could continue to rise back to the upside. But I think this is, if you look at, this is a pure 5 minutes. If you look at, it's a bearish fair value gap, right? That's a so this is FVG. It's a bearish fair value gap. Now in that, once the market goes or touch or retest that bearish fair value gap, what we are looking at, a potential reaction back below here, okay? So, and then to go long. Now, are we waiting for such a big drop here? No, if we see that there is a significant move in that direction of that level, we will be also looking for selling here in that market. All right, so this is what we will be looking at, this price action here from this support level to give us an entry back to the upside here in that market. So this is a fair value gap, and if you look at in that area where there is a significant fair value gap and expecting the market to eventually crack that high and then to eventually drop down. So as the market in a very key level, okay, in a very important level, we are looking at the price to go ahead and give us possible selling opportunity here in that market. After price action confirmation, we will be looking at sell in this market. There's a 1 hour candle close coming in few minutes. We'll see that what kind of market structure is forming in this time period. So as some of you have mentioned that you trade breakout structure and trade the smart money, regardless of what you are trading, regardless of, you know, either you are trading currency gold or, you know, BTC USD or any crypto or currency pairs gold, same analogy, same strategy, right? And to find out a really high probability entry, look for the eventual breakup structure, right, which is the heart of entry for each trade that you will be looking at. Because see that pattern here, if you look at this move, you will be able to see how the market really has done this kind of structure that's created here. This is a significant big move followed by narrow pullback, and you can see another move followed by pullback, and you can see that here drop. So this is a breakup structure, right? And if you look at the overall trend here, this is a breakup structure, and in that breakup structure the market has eventually crossed entirely break below, and from here we saw there was again another move. So when you see those patterns, that means when you see that, if you look at all of our entry, most of them we enter on a breakout structure. Now once you see when there is a significant level had a false breakout, this is a false breakout, and the way you'll understand a false breakout is when that breakout doesn't move further, the market started to grab liquidity again and started to bounce off that level. So these are the sign of liquidity grab, right? So these are the candlestick pattern that you can see that has grabbed liquidity, and with that liquidity grab the market started to bounce off that level. All right, so when you see that there is a breakup structure, the market is grabbing liquidity from this support level, this market eventually to return again back to the upside. So therefore this is a false breakout. When you can identify a false breakout, you can identify which direction the market is going to be heading. I hope that clarifies. Now the next step for us is to find an entry and trade it. That's what you need to look at, right? So what's your bias today? Share on the live chat. What I think that now if you look at the daily, you see the market has just been broken out of this level, Okay, so this is the daily move. It's trying to fill that daily long wick. It is possible the market eventually to go back up and create a higher high, but breaking above this level can give this market also potential reaction back below for creating another downward move to that level. We'll be waiting for the price to go ahead and hit that fair value gap, and then to see that if it is in fact again trending back down here to this previous support level. Okay, now with this move, if you look at the market is maintaining that level, maintaining series of higher high and higher low. Here we saw there was a, if you look at from this high, slowly the market is trying to break below, and we could see that eventually this market to come down almost to this level here, and that is where you will be able to find that new entry. Do you think the market is going back to the for the daily support, or you would say this market is maintaining its uptrend? What's your also bias later today in this market? I would like to ask you with a poll here. So let's start a poll. As coming up in 1.5 hour, high impact news, we will be looking to trade before and after news, but in the meantime, what is your bias on XAUUSD? It is bullish, but I really think we should really drop further down. Okay, so let's then create a pool to understand if majority of the traders thinking that the market is going to retest the daily low, yes or no. So do you think the market is retesting the daily low? Yes or no? So I'm posting a poll. And if we see that more yes, that means we could see the market maybe coming down here, and we can look for sell entry if there is enough confirmation here in that market. So it has entirely broken out of the structure now. Looking for an entry potentially if it confirms a clean downtrend. So if you look at the 1 minute, you can see that it has entirely now has broken back below. Therefore we could see now a pullback, and if the market trend continues down here, that we are looking at potentially selling entry along the way. This is a potentially break below. $4,772 area. I think gold today may 4772. Yes, there is a high chance the market will drop to that 77372 level, or even can come down further below to retest the previous daily low and then reject again off that level. So at the moment, if you look at here, it entirely broken back below, right? So there might be a pullback here, and if it is entirely a kind of waterfall that we could see, in that case we can look for an entry, but we need to see confirmation here. Potential entry back below. So if you look at it, it has broken out of this support. Now, depending on how the market structure is creating here, will determine that this market will break below, or you could see another bounce above here. There might be here a deeper pullback. If we see after the pullback is still bearish pressure, we will be looking at sell here, right? So we were one running trade here, we will be exiting at entry with this pullback, and then we will be looking for selling in that area for this market. As we can see, the market of this support potentially, if you look at here, you can see it's breaking to the upside. It is entirely broken back below, and here so the current level of, if you look at this, is level of 20 EMA. There is a breakout structure here. This market may remain here bearish. As you can see, the price is rejecting off this level, but we want to see that it has done enough false breakout to this level. There's a crossover of 10 and 20 EMA. If we look at here, we can see there is already sell alert on our indicator. So to get that correct entry here, you want to see the market having one more bounce of this level to this, so the price action showing up to be potentially downside, that you can see. So therefore a high possibility this market could create that false breakout here. So breaking above is an opportunity for us to go short here. After stronger breakout, we'll be looking at entry. So looking at here the lower time frame, this is the 5 minutes price action, and I think we might be able to find a short-term sell entry after one more. We want to see the market is breaking out here before we look for that potential sell after it becomes overextended above this area. The previous trade that you are running, you closed it here, and now here I will be placing a pending order. That means sell stop order. If the market breaks that low, we will be going for sell, keeping stop loss above this structure here, around to above this 50 pip stop loss in that area. And we are looking at here 3 to 1, because if the market drops, it might drop a lot. So this is a sell stop order with a tight stop loss. So stop loss I place at 4829.48, and we will be keeping the TP target here below 4805. So it's a sell stop pending order. We'll be looking at so it's a pending order, sell stop at this level at 4823.50 and a stop loss placing at 4829.4 and TP target 4805.67 at that level here on XAUUSD. So in this area there you can see there is a consolidation, and that consolidation, if we see it's breaking below, we can expect a potential trend continuation here in this direction to this intraday support level. Welcome traders, and I hope that you're enjoying the live session. Make sure you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Press the notification bell so you are not missing any of the content that I am posting every day. So it's rejecting off that structure. If you look at this is what I call the fish pattern. So there is a fish pattern again, and that fish pattern that you can see, if you look at with this break below here, that okay, so if you look at here, let's create that pattern so you guys know that exactly how it looks like. So you can see it's breaking above, okay, from that, which is what I call the fish pattern. And now so that pattern, we might see that the market to eventually break that low. We need an eye event for the fish. Let's put it this way. It's an eye. Okay. All right, so we could see the break of this fish pattern below the support. That's where you could see the trend continuation. Now you might have a different opinion, as the market long-term trend is bullish. The market can go in any direction, which is the usual part of the market, but here the key is to look for high probability entry. Do you think that it's gonna break below? If we retested the previous day open and previous day low, then bounce up would have been more bullish, but we struggled to do so. You know, I think so. We might see, you see, if you look at this current, this pattern is usually the reversal doesn't happen like that. Might happen, but usually this kind of structure. So you can see that this tail of this may just an extension and could eventually break below here, so off this tail here. So there is a liquidity sweep here. If you look at, it's a massive rejection of that. This may be a false breakout again here. That could bring the market to come down back below to create a new lower low. We are in the trade. No, we place the pending order here. Okay, so we place pending order in that area. It was not a market order. Has anyone open market order? I have already also shared in the group as a pending order. Has anyone open at the market order? It's a sell stop order that have written here as well. So Now, after break of this structure here, the market again trying to push back to the upside, and it's on a very crucial level. So from that zone, might see quite a few up and down here. Okay, so here after this move, the market slowly coming down for a pullback in that area, and this is a entire upside bias here. Now it's coming back to this if you look at this is where there was a reversal in the market. This breakdown was very unusual without any warning in an uptrend. It just has got back below, right? So usually this kind of move is for gaining momentum. Holding on to that level. At any point we could see what I think it's still there is a higher chance for this market to come down. I'm still holding on to the pending order here, and we'll see that how far it goes, and then we are looking at entry later. definitely there is a drop of the volume because there is a session coming. If you look at, right, so with the upcoming session in 30 minutes, session open, and that's also followed by, we'll see the news coming. It's gonna be pretty packed with quite a few high impacts. So the market will show move. Okay, so two narrow pin bar here, and with this two pin bar, it might try to break below now. Still no directional bias clearly, so therefore we are holding on to the same pending order in that area. I think we're going to the all-time high. The market is retested them. The current all-time high is here, quite a bit of high, right? 488. There is a significant pullback, and at the moment, I don't think that straight it's gonna go up. It can, without decent break below. We might see that trend continuation, but it's just my personal opinion. What do you think? It's gonna straight go? I think it's gonna go down for little more deeper before it dive upper, right? That's could be. There's a double top here again. The market is potentially creating a structure here. Are you going to look for any entry? Create a triple top. See that what kind of market structure is formed. Okay, so I'm going to look for a sell entry of this level. We see that I will be later explaining also the full in-depth logic behind the trade with a very tight stop loss. If the market goes up, we will be exiting the position. If we look at here, it's a very tight few pip stop loss here, only 26 to 27 pips, nothing in comparison. I'm looking it to this level. It's a sell by market trade, closing the previous pending order. So here I have opened the sell on gold for a very tight stop loss for this potential move back below and close the previous pending order. Would like to see significant move in that direction for, at least to this level can give decent move, because it's a very tight stop loss. And there might be bounce. If it goes up, then didn't response as expected. Now see where it is heading now at the moment. Okay, so got back below. It's a very tight stop loss, so we will not be also running too high. We want to see that significant move. Getting that lower here. Okay, so we see downside move back here. We want to see further downside. I'm still holding on to that, guys. Okay, holding on to that. Anytime I will be closing in profit as soon as you see decent move, and if there is any possibility for rejection back above, still running it, holding on to that. If you look at here, a big bear candle with a narrower red candle, so expecting it to break that low here in that direction, potentially to create a new lower low. Okay, so I'm going out, guys. This is not from the last session, from this trade, as it might try to bounce off that level. So I'm exiting the trade, whatever profit running. This might try to push back again. We will be re-entering again, because if the market straight drop well below, it was a good entry. Now what happened, the market, if you look at here, that it's creating a smaller candlestick pattern. So those smaller candle could be breaking back to the upside again. So it's the sellers is not showing a stronger selling pressure in that area. That might take that market back to the upside here. Now slowly. We will be re-entering at any point. We can re-enter at any point. That's completely fine. All right, so it's breaking that low now after we exit the entry, but I'm waiting a little bit so that we can find better entry opportunity. Patience is key in trading, guys. Don't FOMO trade, don't over trade, just purely wait for the best opportunity. What's your strategy with this trade? Anyone running? I mean, I have closed, so because it was a very fast move, have you closed in the profit or is still anyone holding on to that? I'm out with the trade. It's we can re-enter again as soon as we can find suitable entry. Have anyone made any profit here? Share your P&L. Now we are on the trade. We were on the trade with this one. The previous, the pending order, we closed the pending order. So we open our first trade here. But I have very little profit. Mine is nearly to break even. So because I entered late and exit already. By the way, we can re-enter again. So I would look like to register as a break even. All right, waiting for the market to show up. You can see series of lower high maintaining, and the market is slowly building its momentum back below, creating series of lower high and lower low. And where as the market is maintaining that downtrend, we could see continuation further back below. To enter another trade, if you look at, as I mentioned earlier, this market may dip further, and that is where the best entry comes in play after significant pullback below. At the moment, the way the market is heading is the higher chance that the price will eventually drop back down here. And now we will be looking for a further entry on, if you look at here, you can see now it's in a downtrend. As soon as it will create a stronger false breakout back to the upside, you can look for entry, as there is news coming. It's ready for the news. If you look at it's a high impact news. So with this news here coming up, unemployment claims as well as final GDP, both of them are market mover, right? So both of them will have some impact in the market that you can take in our trading with the increased volatility. What's your prediction with the unemployment claims? Can you predict the spike? I think we're going to talk. Okay, so I'm going to share a pool again. So looking at the previous one, see that quite a few votes. So it's the market retesting the daily low. So as I mentioned, guys, pool really helps. So I'm ending that pool, and the results you guys can see, I think it's gonna come here. So the previous poll was, is the market is retesting the daily low? 70% yes, 30% no, and in fact the market is coming to test the low, right? So interestingly, I have seen that almost over 90% of the time the poll results came out to be correct. It's interesting. Okay, now let's do a pool now for the spike. So let's do a lot of pool, right? If it always coming out to be a very high, then why shouldn't we do a lot? So going to take another pool here. Can you predict the spike? Okay, this is what you can see at the moment. Bearish here. All right, so I've shared another pool. You guys can share that pool here. Okay, so from this high here, there's entirely single drop back below. Okay, so entirely has broken back below of this support level here and may eventually continue to trend back down here, and we might see the market to eventually break below here to create a new lower low. And so it entirely dropped down, right? So we see that there is a complete breakup structure. At the moment the market is below this key support level, as we discussed, the market to eventually potentially to break below. Now as the sessions volume coming, if you look at the 1 hour, it's a one single drop here, and with this drop down, now the market, what I think now coming for a deeper pullback, so that now could bring that market back here to the previous low. So from here we saw this drop, as it is coming back below here, there is a here now another pure bullish fair value gap on the 15-minute. Okay, so with this if you look at with this big red candle, the market may here could come back further below here to create a new lower low, and with that drop down we might see the market to continue to drop here to create a new lower low. So it's if you look at this is a one single drop, this kind of breakdown is what creates a false break, and that might take that market again for another move. But this is the daily low, as we discussed, the market may eventually come back for another here is the daily low. So for us to be able to enter, we want to see that the market is coming well below here. some music up. It's breaking that low. So you see there is a significant bigger head and shoulder, and with this head and shoulder the market is still showing the downside here. Now once the market become overextended in that direction, if you look at below this level also there is significant this is a significantly bigger fair value gap that you can see here in that area. That fair value gap could, if the market tests that level, there is an imbalance here. Okay, as the market moves from imbalance to the imbalance, if the price cross that low, there is a potential for bigger move back. Now to be able to enter for us, you want to see that it has done enough liquidity sweep from the top to look for the entry. Okay, so if you look at this move, is this going up for a pullback, or it is again another liquidity sweep? What do you think there? Market left an imbalance here, and there is a higher potential for the price to drop down back below in that area. So there is significant rejection of this level. The market may eventually break further below here, and therefore if you look at entry, we can enter at any point, but the best way to enter is after we get a full confirmation of the market structure. Okay, so that's where the best entry comes in play, when there is a higher probability for the market to show up its possible to hit the profit target with a higher probability, right? That's where the best entry. Now we are seeing news coming in just a matter of 20 minutes. Okay, so patience is key here, not only here, everywhere, right? We would like to see that with data the market will have reaction, because it's very high impact news, and before or after, once the market prepared, we will be looking for another entry. Successful entry is more important. If you guys looked at the previous one, we had successful entry, and we want to see another successful entry, so that we have a high win rate as usual, that we can maintain that high win rate over and over again. All right, so the market structure here, maintaining this form of market structure, can be a reversal or can be a continuation, depending on what kind of market structure it is forming. See that here. Okay, we have a few minutes for the market to show up, but here there is a sideways narrow consolidation that you can see. Would like to see the market to clearly show up its directional bias. So of this level, we can see series of higher low. And the market is eventually, if you look at here, had a break back to the upside, and Okay, there might be a reversal the way that there is a double bottom. There is a possible for a reversal here now, but still not very clearly defined the price action. So there is a really interesting market structure formation here, and if we look at really excited to see that. And the market is here now showing an upside bias. That's now breaking out here. We have 15 minutes to go for the upcoming news, and there's suddenly there is a, after this false breakout again we see that upside move, and it's important to see that how the market now reacting to this level here. As there's data coming, so above 4832 level there is a high liquidity. The market eventually could go back there now for another retest of this above this level. So we might see now crossing this high here, and now with this breakout as news coming, we can see after liquidity sweep it's trying to break that low, and hello trader, welcome. Here we need to be a little bit patient here, as there is news coming in 10 minutes time, and I see that some kind of increased move. So technically gold bullish or bearish. So from the technical, if you look at first, let's delete our previous entry and everything, looking at the chart from the fresh perspective, right? So looking at the chart from fresh perspective is also important, because that's where you guys will see how everything again looking new, right? Because I look at always from what I said, the beginner mindset, right? When you look at the chart from the fresh perspective, from the beginner mindset, we can see the market in a different way, because the market is constantly changing its structure. So because it's constantly changing its structure, if we look at that from the fresh perspective, we can see a complete picture in the market. So if we look at this 1 hour price action on gold, you guys can see that there was a breakout and pullback multiple times. Now this 1 hour candle, the first half an hour, we can see it's entirely engulfed that move back here. But previously we saw that there was a strong break below. So now the market is breaking that high. So with that break of this high, that the market is now, if you look at that, approaching this key resistance line. And with that key resistance line approach, where the price action now could eventually break that high and create a new higher high. Now this drop down that we have seen previous hour is entirely engulfed now, and this 30-minute candle is closing, so it can form even now an inverted head and shoulder and then continue to. So the global trend, that means that long-term trend on gold is bullish, and from the fundamental also we can see that gold is bullish. Now fundamental, how do you consider the fundamental? Also important, right? Because if you look at the fundamental perspective in the market, so fundamental is a big part of trading. If you want to be a successful trader on gold or on currency or anything, you must consider the fundamental. You can't become a good trader without knowing the fundamental. Now we don't have to trade the fundamental, you know, for every trade because we are short-term trader, but if you look at the market from the fundamental perspective, you can see the directions very clearly. You can see the flow in the market. Flow is very important, right? If you look at the flow, everywhere there is a flow. Okay, flow is everywhere. So the market also had a flow, right? There is an order flow in the market, and that flow takes that market to a specific direction. So if you look at this market here, you can see that this is a bullish market, and it's maintaining a directional bias. A flow in the market is to the upside here. So that being said here, as the flow now is if you look at here, is a strongly upside here, therefore in that market we will be looking at buying. Okay, so you want to see now a deeper pullback or break of structure, as in 3 minutes time, news coming, spike could be in that direction, and let's wait to see where the market is eventually creating the structure with the news. And once we see that enough confirmation, we can look for further entry, because the bias now to the bullish, if the spike bring that market down, we might be able to find an entry of this level here. So data coming, and so okay, so initially the market has broken back below here, and what kind of data that you can see, look at, okay, so here is unemployment claims came to be lower than forecast, final GDP is higher than the forecast. So both of that, how does that has done with DXY? There's a gap open on DXY, which is showing there is an potentially, with this gap open here, there might be some potentially upside move, and that might be downside on gold that you can see. Right, so we could see the downside pressure on the market. Well, that's pretty strongly down. Right, so we can see the market has shown that downside momentum. So with this pretty long doji formation here in that area, this is a entirely break below, and with a doji now the market may start to bounce off this level. As we discussed that there is a spike below, it may bounce off this level, or you could see the further downside. So let's wait to see that which one we could see eventually, another break below or moving up again from that support level. So 4-hour time frame is very important, because this is the time frame where you would see the market showing directional bias, and daily, 4-hour, 1 hour here on the support, 30 minutes. creating a series of higher low. So it tested this order block, dropped down straight back to the another order block. Now there's a potential for weak fill, pin bar, and look at here, few dodges with a pin bar. The market is showing basically here a downside move. Now it's getting upside here in that area on the lower time frame. We'll be able to potentially find an entry of that resistance line. And could it be a sign of an order block and drop to 30 minutes time frame? Could it be a sign of an order block and drop 30 minutes time frame? If we look at on the 30 minutes order block, if you look at here, okay, and so it's a, if you look at from here, there was a buyers from the 30 minutes. The market has created this move. It's on a, here on the 30 minutes, it's on a pullback. If we look at the 1 minute chart, then we can spot some order block here, those who are trading on the lower time frame. So if you look at, this is an order block, so this green candle, okay, this is an order block, and from there we saw that there was a retest and a straight drop down here to this order block. So this pin bar, also this green pin bar, is order block. So here is order block. From here we saw that the market drop here, straight drop to the next order block. So the market normally trades from order block to order block. That's how the smart money trades. Now at the moment it has dropped to that order block, but if we look at current trend, so it's a one single drop, we might see that potentially another test of this low, another retest of this low, that can bring that market again back above here in that area. So the structure that it has created in that area is yeah, so it's showing the significantly downside in that area, and that might be bringing that market back below. If you look at that's a massive drop down back below, which is bringing that market lower here. So here is this, with this drop down here, we see there is the market has reached that. This is a complete void here, which is bullish fair value gap, and I'm preparing for a potential entry if we can find suitable confirmation. Especially if we see the market has gone back up here. Okay, so here the market structure is maintaining potentially a downtrending market structure, and with that downtrend, if you look at, there is a doji, you might see the market to potentially come back below here. So this is 30 minutes order block, right? If you look at this one, as we discussed, so the market now slowly potentially dropping towards that 30 minutes order block. 5 minutes candlestick pattern, if you look at, this is also a narrow doji here, and so this 5 minutes candlestick pattern closing as a potentially a bear candle, and that might bring that market below here. So here, if the price breaks below, we will be on the trade. Again, placing here sell stop, not a market order, so it's a pending order placing here in case the price is breaking below. Okay, so it's a sell stop order and a sell stop placing at 4810.19. If the market breaks below, we will be on the trade. If not, then we will not be. 4810.19 and stop loss here at 4815.87. Stop loss at 4815.87. and TV target setting at 4801.66. So if the market breaks below here with only few pips stop loss, we will be on the trade. If not, will not be. So place the stop loss in that area for a potential break. If the market breaks, we will be on the trade in that area. So it had a breakout, it didn't break below here, and if the market continues to rise here, we are not at the moment entering. If the price breaks below, we'll be looking in that sell entry. Now in trading requires definitely some patience here. Can we touch 4470? 4470? You mean 4870? Remember 4470 is, I think you talked about 4870, right? I'm assuming that because 4470 is too low. If you look at the daily market here, or you mean 4770? 4770, I think you mean. Yeah, this is the daily low. If the market breaks, yes, it is possible that this market can come back below 4770. But at the moment, if you look at here, we place the pending order in the market after retest, breaking below here. Now if it breaks this low, then you will be on the trade, and there is a possibility for that downside here in that market. Okay, so the market structure that you can see here in that area, after break of this high, trying to break that low, we place the pending order and still holding on to that until it creates a new higher high. The pending order is still valid. Okay, so if the market breaks this high here, then this pending order is still valid here, and we will be able to see that entry here. the way 1 hour is forming is that a sign of big bearish move tonight. If you look at the 1 hour, the 1 hour candle closing that if you look at here, this one, we have 2 minutes to go for this 1 hour candle to close, but this one is closing, if you see, it's very narrow green body here. If this 1 hour is closing potentially as a red or like this as a narrower doji, either green or red, it in fact, if you look at, grab liquidity from the high. So the bias here still remains downside, and that big move could mean that the market coming back to the daily low again. There is an order block here, as we discussed. The market may come down to retest that order block. So that is why if you look at the other time frame, okay, if you look at here, and the previous trade we opened, if you were there here, right, exactly to that level, and the market drop. For me, in trading, less is always more, right? Quality is more important than quantity, especially in trading. In some, you know, probably if you go to the some other stuff might be different, right? Let's say if you want to give some water in your crop field, in that case quantity is more important than quality, isn't it? You just need water from the river. But when you are looking at trading, here is less is more. And okay, breaking out of that level, squaring that, so it didn't break yet below. Now how the 1 hour price action closing also crucial. This is okay, new candle has opened from the 1 hour, and after such a big long week candle, I don't think the market will be able to create a big upside. Instead, there is a higher chance for downside. So I'm still holding on to that pending order here below. It's well below, but this is what we want to take the market to create a new lower low before we look for any entry, right? So still not looking to see what kind of market structure it might form. So the data has given some kind of Look at dollar yen, dollar got stronger, and here dollar yen back to back 2 4-hour dodges here. Okay, so dollar yen as well in a bullish trend that you can see, and Euro USD showing bullish, GBP USD sideways, DXY after this lower time frame move, it again started to drop down back below. So if the DXY is coming down here, that means if you look at the gold, they're normally gold move mirror of DXY, right? So gold could be that the market to remain opposite of DXY unless there is any very different event here. So the market on gold now, because of the pullback and some data also tomorrow coming, tomorrow is a big day for also quite a few pairs, JPY, GBP, Euro, and also dollar. And there's a triple top, slowly trying to break below here. Really, this market at the moment not tradable, okay, until we see clean direction. That's where we need to look at. Okay, now it is still can move in both directions, though there is a possibility for coming down here. Okay, our pending order is here, but if the market breaking to the upside here, we will not be leaving that order here, though we had few successful trade earlier. Now we are almost progressing towards the end of the week, so almost end of this, nearly to this live session, but we had, you know, the success is more important than anything else. Now before I ending this session, first of all we will be closing the pending order, because you know, when I'm not here, I don't want to leave a pending order. If the market changes again its direction or clarify its direction, we will be looking at entry. Now at the moment, what we are looking for the next move in the market, if you look at this zone here, you can see it is a very narrow consolidation sideways. Okay, so what does that mean? If you look at this sideways, this is the 15-minute chart. Okay, it's a channel, right? Now this kind of channel usually break in one direction and then trend in the major. So this is potentially the market could do here. At the moment we could see that range further here, or breaking below and then breaking back to the upside here again. So until we see a clean directional bias, the best way is to wait for the directional bias and then to trade in the direction of the trend. So that being said, any trade when I'm not here, I would trade till the end of the NY session. I'm going to share in the group. If you guys are there, you're gonna see their update. If you're not, also stay connected by joining. There's a free Telegram also, you can find link below this video, where you can access to regular many of the ideas that I share, including the education as well as analysis. So here you can learn and grow as a trader with me every single day, including regular trade analysis as well as strategies and education that I'm posting every day, including all the system that I have. Also, I do share it with our members. So that being said, thank you for joining here, and I'll see you again tomorrow, same time. We will be trading in the live market. Friday's special days, you know that Friday and Monday are very important day for trading. We'll see their trading as crazy day coming for JPY pairs, Euro, GBP, as well as dollar, including gold. Thank you, and I'll see you again, guys, shortly after with another live session.